Let's talk about my experiences grocery shopping in Mexico. So I was living in Puerto Vallarta for a little over 3.5 months, and I went to pretty much every grocery store that existed there. So there's not that many grocery stores, but fair few. You had your Walmarts, you had your La Comed, you had your Chedwaye, you had your Casale. So I went to, and one more, I forgot, and Soriana. So I think they call it Soriana Hyper. So I went to all of these grocery stores, and I had, various experience in all of them, and I want to share and talk about them. The first one that I'll talk about is the first place that I went to, which was Walmart. So good old Walmart. It is basically the exact same experience you're going to get in the United States. The Walmarts are very similar. They're actually organized in a similar way as they are in the United States. You come in, to your left is usually the groceries, the produce and things like that. And then to your right is usually the checkout aisles. And then when you get further in, you got your frozen sections, you got your pantries, and along the back, you got your frozen sections and your meats and things like that. And then in the far right, there's going to be like other things, like clothes, electronics, things like that. So they're pretty much very similarly shaped. If anything, they might be reversed. Maybe you have the checkouts on the left and the produce on the right, but whatever, it's pretty much the same kind of process in terms of how it's organized. I really liked Walmart. It had everything I needed. It was actually pretty affordable prices, and it had a fair amount of imported things that weren't crazy marked up. They were still marked up. There was definitely an import tax, but it wasn't extreme import tax in terms of the items. So really enjoyed Walmart. It is a good place to go if you are feeling a little culture shock and you're just like, I don't even know what to do. I would go to Walmart. It's a fine place to go. And a lot of the Walmarts have self-checkout, so you can go to the checkout aisle, you can change the information to English, and it's easy to go through the self-checkout aisle instead of having to talk to a cashier, if that makes you feel any better. The second place that I went to was La Comed. La Comed is more like an upscale grocery store. I would compare it to kind of like Target in a lot of ways. You come in, there's a lot of security. The food is really high quality for the most part. Although I would say the produce, in my opinion, wasn't that great. A lot of times I would come in and it wasn't in the best condition. They weren't doing it really as good as turnover as I would expect for a high-end store, but it's incredibly clean. There's a coffee shop inside. There's a pharmacy inside. It has different various sections. So there's like a beauty section, baby section, electronic section. There's a home goods section. The dairy and stuff is in the back with the frozen foods. And the prices are fair. They're not exactly super cheap, but it's really nice and like very comfortable store to shop in, I have to say. There's a gourmet section too, or imported section. So it had a lot of things that you're looking for. Very, very comfortable. If you're more comfortable shopping in like a more high-end grocery store, that's the grocery store that I would recommend going to. It's really comfortable. Really comfortable, a lot of security. You can't do any self-checkout there though. You do have to go through the lines, and the lines are not fast. Cashiers in every grocery store do not work fast. They're not in a rush anywhere. No one's in a rush anywhere in Mexico, to tell you that. But they are relatively nice, but they're not like nice. They're not trying to be your friend. They just do their job. Now, that was my experience in La Comer. Those places, it's easy to get a car, to call Uber or a taxi to take you home if you have a lot of groceries. Now, I also went to Soriana. Also has a pretty sizable parking lot, has an area out front where you can get picked up if you need to catch a car. But Soriana to me was more like Walmart in terms of the way that it's set up. Same kind of amenities as like La Comer in terms of like it has clothing, it has like appliances and things like that. But just the way that it's set up, even like kind of the amount of cleanliness, the way that the lights are structured is just like kind of dark. Very, very fluorescent lighty. Just kind of reminded me more of Walmart in terms of the aesthetics. But had a really nice area for bread. You want to get all your pan, you can get your donuts, you can get your tortillas and things like that. Produce, I would say not the best quality of produce. I would prefer that they had it just doesn't seem like they turn over the produce enough. Great selection of cheese. All the cheeses to your heart's desires. Prices are very good. I would say the prices are quite affordable for what you're looking for. There are some imports that are a little expensive, but for the most part, it's got everything you need. You can get in, get out of that store. I like that store a lot. Also does not have self-checkout. You do have to go through the aisles and work with the cashiers. The ones that I went to, though, too, also don't allow you to take in a backpack. They do have you check your bag. At the door, you go to another area and you go check your bag. And most of them do have some kind of like cafe of some sort, but it's not a cafe. It's usually like kind of like a taqueria, some kind of food section. The other grocery store that I have frequented is Chedware. It is a really nice grocery store. I would say that it's like more of a it's like a Safeway. I would describe it as a Safeway. It's kind of a mix of all the things, but it's really nice. It also has like a cafe, has a food court kind of situation. The produce seems to be a little bit better in quality at Chedware's. Huge alcohol section. They have a lot of alcohol and a lot of other things, clothing, electronics, beauty, all that kind of stuff. But really like that store. Typically has everything that you need. Although I feel like the food and things are like they just have less of stuff, but it's like really good quality of what they have. Really love the bakery section. They actually enclose their bakery, so everything is closed up in like glass containers, so you don't have to worry about like flies coming into the store and landing on your food. So that's kind of nice. I really like Chedware. I don't really have anything negative to say about it. They have really affordable pre-cooked chicken as compared to Soriana. Soriana can be expensive. It can get to like 130 pesos sometimes. And then I feel like Chedware's chicken is always like 90 pesos or 99 pesos. So it's always pretty the same price all the time, and it's affordable. But yeah, really good store. I like Chedware. Good store. The last store that I'm going to talk about is Casa Le. I don't know if this is a chain. It was in my neighborhood. It was very convenient. It was actually in the tourist zone, but none of the cashiers spoke English, which I thought was pretty funny. But you know, you can get by. It's a really small store. I would say I don't love the layout. I think it definitely gives working class vibes, and nothing wrong with that, but you know, like the cheese section was always like leaking water. There's like they had to put like cardboard down for the area because it was always wet. The produce was not in the best condition. It was always like molding and stuff like that. They would rarely change over the food until the very last minute. And yeah, it's dark in there. It's really dark. The aisles are kind of tight. They do have an upstairs section with like baby stuff, electronics. I don't know if it's electronics, but more like hardware, toilet paper, outdoor stuff like, you know, going swimming and things like that. That stuff was upstairs. So if you needed to do that, you go upstairs, but there's no elevator. So gotta get up. You gotta be able-bodied to go up the stairs. And yeah, you have to go through the cashiers to get out. They did have a food court area, but it never seemed to be like anyone working there. Never seemed to be any food coming out, but they did have a food court area. And yeah, it's really small. It's a really small store. Get in, get out. If you do have a backpack, they do tag your bag to let them know that we know that you have a backpack in here. You're not supposed to just like walk in without getting tagged. Yeah, other than that, it has a pharmacy. It has a really small pharmacy, so if you needed that. I like that store. It had what we needed. It was very close by. It was the closest grocery store in the neighborhood to where we live, so definitely enjoyed that. But of all the grocery stores, I would say my favorites were Chedware and La Comed. But I would say those places are maybe a little more fancy or more expensive than where most people are going. But I really enjoyed every grocery store that I went to. I really don't have a complaint really about any of them. They're all fine for what I needed, and I could find everything at each store without any problems. So if you have any questions about the grocery stores, please feel free to ask me in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe. Sharing is caring. I'm really trying to grow the channel, so I really appreciate that. And if you're looking for help moving abroad, if you need help with changing your financial situation, if you're looking to take a sabbatical or a career change, please reach out to me. I am a lifestyle architect. I help people design and build their house, their life, and all you gotta do is start, you know, reach out and reach out to me in the description below is where you can find my information. A lot of times the biggest obstacle is starting, so reach out to me. I will help you on that journey. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.